Nigerians should brace for a potential hike in the cost of petroleum products from January 1, 2026, as the newly enacted Tax Administration Act introduces a 5% surcharge on fossil fuels. Well, the levy will apply to both imported and locally produced fuels such as petrol, diesel, aviation fuel, and kerosene. However, household kerosene, cooking gas, compressed natural gas, and renewable energy products are exempt. The federal government projects the surcharge could generate 796 billion naira annually from petrol alone, marking a significant step toward expanding revenue from the energy sector. Well, for more on the planned implementation of 5% surcharge on petrol produced locally and imported, I am now joined by Andrew Mamedu, Country Director, ActionAid Nigeria. Glad to have you join us, Andrew.
Thank you.
Let's start it this way. 5% surcharge is part of the tax law, which comes into effect, like I just read a while ago, next year from January. What would be the impact on consumers' transportation if implemented?
Thank you very much. The first thing is let's go back to history, where we're coming from. So when the current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, came into power, the first thing he did was to remove fuel subsidy. So, and other policies, the exchange rate flotation, basically that triggered lots of reactions in the economy, affected level of poverty, inflation, and we know till now we have not recovered from it. So the government is putting out statistics that shows that at the macro level is beginning to respond positively to those actions. But at the micro level, the community, the people, the persons that are actually end users of these things, they are not seeing the effects of this. So they say with time, we will be able to see the impacts that we are seeing at the macro level, begin to see them demonstrate at the micro level, at the community level, the UNI level. Now, going ahead after those actions to increase the price of fuel, 5% means that if you're paying 1,000 per liter for fuel, you pay 1,050 naira. If you're filling your tank with 100,000 or with 50,000, you pay 52,500. That's what it means. But the amount in question, so the amount is significant that the federal government will generate, is an additional tax. The question is this the appropriate time for us to implement this? And for us, the answer is no. There are lots of reasons why the answer is no. The economy has not yet recovered. We have not gotten on track yet for us to put more tax burden on the people. And this tax is a form of tax you describe as regressive taxation. It's general. So what you are taxed, what I am taxed, is what the woman in the market or the woman in the streets that buys 4 liters of fuel, that's the same amount, same rate that they pay for the tax.
Based on what you have said, let me just ask you this. Does it seem like the government is reducing tax burden on Nigerians through the tax law from the front door and going through the back door to increase their burdens?
Exactly. That's what it is. That is what it is. And petrol is one of the items you say it's perfectly inelastic. It means that it doesn't have so much alternative. And if it doesn't have so much alternative, you are forced to. And any increase in petrol trickles down so the burden will be passed by the pump, from the pump price to the vehicle to the person in the transport, down to produce, to tomatoes, up to the rent that you pay, up to every item. So it affects everything. So the government needs to look at if we want to increase tax. So some areas they were increasing taxes, and in some areas there was reduction in taxes. But this new taxation, there are countries that does this. So surcharge on things like that. There's countries that are already doing it. However, is this the right time? Coupled with the fact that we are entering an election here. So this is ill-advised. It could cause lots of actions and reactions from citizens.
Are you speaking for the politicians?
No, I am. So I am advising them.
Are you advising them?
I am advising them. If they are smart, that's not a smart thing to do.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, how should the government balance the economic fallout of trying to shore up its revenue I gather it stands to rake in 769 billion naira from the petrol side alone, from non-sources of oil revenue and harsh. How do they balance that with the harsh economic climate Nigerians are already caving on them?
We just have to be accountable for what we currently have. We will just do well with it. So currently, from analysis, this, World Bank estimates that we lose as much as 27 trillion naira every year to corruption. I mean, to corruption, generally in the GDP, so not just government spending, so across both private and public sector. 27 trillion naira. So if we are able to salvage half of that, if we are able to salvage 1/3 of that, 1/3 of that is 9 trillion naira. That will go a long way. So I think we are focusing, even this amount. So if you look at the reactions from various stakeholders, including the oil marketers, those that use the road, they're saying that, oh, this will be used to upgrade and make our road infrastructure better. Even those that use the road, they said, no, we want to make sure that the money is actually used for the road. We are not certain that if this amount is levied on people, it would actually go through actual use for what it was meant for. So we are not accountable for it. So the government can secure more resources, get more resources by being more accountable and tackling issues of corruption across the level, across the federal, state, and local government level, even within the private sector. If we do that, we would not have any need to look for the about 800 billion that we're talking about right now.
What do you make of this comment from the national chairman of the Joint Drivers Welfare Association, Akintada Abiodun? He's accusing the government of using Nigerians as lab rats, is word for unpopular economic decisions.
Now, these are lives of people. These are everyday people. They are not just statistics. When you say 133 million Nigerians living in more than multidimensional poverty, these are people. These are human beings. These are people you call Charles, and Andrew, Nkechi, Sueba. So these are people. Mamedu. Yeah. So these are people, real people. And clearly, if you do not look at it or see it from that perspective, you're carrying out experiments upon experiment. And these policies, the truth be told, this has already been passed. The president has signed it. So it's the tax law. We recognize that. But what we are calling for is these should be suspended until we get to such a time where the economy is cruising and the people are feeling it. It's not just the government telling us, oh, the GDP is increasing, giving us all the positive vibes. That's what you call playing with statistics. We understand statistics. And if you're not able to do that, we'll get to a situation where people would revolt, and people have a right to do that and defend themselves.
Somebody said that here. I'm afraid I'm going to have to end it here. Thank you so much, Andrew Mamedu, Country Director, Action Aid Nigeria, for being on Newsnight.
Thanks for having me.